much.
On your list, you were very quick to say which was your number one, but then the rest are just like in any order, aren't they?
Totally, yeah.
Right, okay, no worries. We'll run down them from the way you've done it. We'll start at what would have been number 10, but obviously it's not your number 10, if that makes sense.
Sure, however you want to do it. And I said to you at the time, I was like, on a different day, it could be different. So I can't actually 100% remember exactly what all of them are.
Well, so everyone's been like that, I think.
Yeah, we've got it written down, don't worry.
Yeah, it depends how recently you watched it and stuff, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, I think so. And if you ask me about characters and stuff, I'm going to be like, oh, no, I don't know. Yeah, for some of them.
Well, there is a little quiz at the end. So.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It's just one question for each film, that's all.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
But where we've been talking about your list as well, and of the people who've been on, yours is the most diverse list we've had. You've got pretty much something from every genre there, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Oh,
yeah, covering all the bases.
You've got everything from
clever
horror to musicals to gangster movies. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm kind of eclectic, but at the same time, a lot of the films that I've chosen are films that are I like watch them at like a pivotal moment in my life.
Right.
And so like not that I can remember what that pivotal moment was, but like like I was a teenager and I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. Or like, I mean, I can talk about, I watched Goodfellas when I was at drama school. I remember being told about that shot that goes like the whole way through and being like, that's like the best bit of directing. Like we were all like drama students being like, oh my God, it's all about the craft. It's all about the craft. No, I still love the film. But yeah,
it sticks with you, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I do love that film.
So we'll start off at the bottom. Your last one that was on your list was Moulin Rouge.
Yep, love it.
Was that is that what pivotal moment did that play in your life then?
Yeah. So I'm really into musicals.
Yeah,
we can
Is that the only musical that's on the list?
No,
you got a few.
Of the genres that you've got on your list, musicals is the most. You got 3 on there.
Have I? Good.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to like tell the listener that I don't have a memory problem. Just like a lot of films. So Moulin Rouge, I think is brilliant. Loads of people hate it. I remember everyone thinking it was very uncool to like it when I was a teenager, but I dug my heels in. It's wacky. It's sort of mad. Like there's loads of like brilliant. No, they're not really cameos because they have quite like sort of large roles.
Yeah.
But it's a bit star-studded, and then like Kylie pops in at one point just to be like, I'll be the absent fare. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I guess so. And I sort of love with musicals how bold and ridiculous they can be. I think often with movies, like obviously there's stuff like Avatar or stuff where it's completely in a different world. But the thing about something like Moulin Rouge is that it's sort of happening in a world that we understand and we know. But then at the same time, it's totally normal for like everyone to do a can and for it to be like a sort of disco version of a can. So and I quite like Nicole Kidman as an actress. I've liked her in lots of stuff, and so I guess, but anything where people sing, I think I would absolutely love to live in a musical. Like I grew up singing and dancing. I do a bit of tap, and I did all types of different dance growing up. I can sing a bit. So I feel like if I sort of left my house one morning and like there was a dustman that was like, hey, and I was like, right, let's do this. Like, I would be like, oh, this is what I've been waiting. This is what I've been training for. I basically training to be in a musical my whole life. And I'm yet to be cast. So now I just live in a world where I hope one will develop around me.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm guessing I might be the only person that said that so far on the podcast.
So far, it's early days, but so far.
Yeah, I can't wait. If you can let me know who the other people that want to live in a musical are, then maybe I can hang out with them and we can just sort of create ourselves. But I guess I just love how ridiculous it is, and that's sort of the thing with Baz Luhrmann, isn't it? Is that like
definitely,
like totally willing to go to this sort of bonkers place, and. I just sort of love it. I love that. I love like the reimagined songs that they do, the sort of weird covers of Like a Virgin and stuff like that, which is, and like the film's quite creepy. Like the guy,
it's quite dark as well, isn't it?
The guy is he like a count or
the Duke?
The Duke. He's like massively creepy, and it's all sort of. Probably doesn't pass the best but he does want to sort of anyway, I don't want to make it seem like I sign up for men rescuing women, but in this film I will allow it because they're also singing. Because that's my rule.
That's the criteria. Yeah.
I like the patriarchy if they're singing. If not, I'm fucking smashing it. But if they're singing, I'll let it slide.
Well, I've been walking around all week waiting for people to burst into song, because every time we get someone's list,
welcome to my life, mate. I've been doing that for 35 years.
I feel you're paying the first person on your island already.
Because we go through and I've watched your list. I watched like 3 musicals in 2 days, and then when I went to the shop and people weren't singing at me, I was like slightly disappointed, I've got to say. I do feel your pain.
I hear you. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad.
I'm gonna have to take a break now just because it is too much.
I'll just do
it's a gangster film.
Considering Moulin Rouge as well, it is quite, like you say, it's quite out there in its man as this moment. It starts off quite dark, and obviously it's not a massively happy ending either. So it's quite unusual in the musical sense,
especially for a musical.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she gets the old TB, doesn't she?
Yeah,
the old blood in the handkerchief.
You always cheery in a musical.
Blood in the handkerchief, you know.
That's the telltale sign. It's not going to end well for this.
It's not going to end well. But yeah, it is quite bleak. But then I sort of like that, and I think that's sort of how it sort of fucks the genre in a way. Like I saw a production of Cabaret in the West End, probably, oh man, it must be like close to 15 years ago. And you know, the story of Cabaret is quite dark. You know, it's sort of, I don't know if you know it, but it sort of happens during the Second World War. Like there's Nazis in it. There's obviously Jewish people. Not obviously. There's Jewish people. You know, it's really dark. And the production that I saw in town, which was like remarkable, at the end of the show, they all got completely naked and walked into a gas chamber, and it was so dark, and the whole of the were like,
Jesus.
But I sort of love that because because you've fallen in love with these people, and then right at the end you go, this is what actually happened to people like this. This is the truth of it. Sometimes things don't have a fairy tale ending, and I guess, you know, I would say that Cabaret was that version of Cabaret was a lot darker than Moulin Rouge, but you know, I sort of like something that sort of blurs the genre a bit, that it's not all happy clappy, and at the end it's quite dark.
I really like Jojo Rabbit. The last couple of years, a similar sort of thing.
I loved that film. That was
makes the dark twist so much darker because of the humor, and it makes the funny bit so much funnier.
The bit where she dies,
like it's horrendous.
When you see her feet, you're like,
still gets me now.
It's so. That is a great movie as well. See, on a different day, I might have said that, but I haven't. You know, I haven't seen it enough to actually. I've only seen it once, but it was great.
There's no songs in it either, as well. Really.
If I'm in the cinema, there always is. Which is another reason why I've been banned from my local cinema.
Sounds like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Come on, guys, join in. You don't have to know the words. Don't worry, just make
Your next one is not a musical, but it does have some good songs in it. Toy Story 2.
Oh, what a movie!
Why number 2? Because they are all good, but there's plenty of choice. There he is.
There he is. I'm just holding up for the listener. I'm holding up Woody who has it. He no longer works. It's
worn out.
I assume you're a Woody rather than Buzz person then.
I'm more of a Jessie person, if I'm honest. She's in the lounge.
I thought that might be why you went for number 2.
Yeah. So I think I think the main reason for how much I love number 2 is because this is it Sarah McLachlan who sings that song When She Loved Me? Is that who sings it?
Honestly, don't know.
I'm gonna have to check. Sorry. When She Loved Me. Yeah, it is Sarah McLachlan. So don't want to sound like a prick, do I?
Oh, that's when it's doing the flashback with Jessie?
Yeah. So when she's doing and it's like, when somebody loved me, everything was beautiful. It is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It is so. And I mean, it sort of does a similar thing, I guess, in a way to what Moulin Rouge does, in that like it makes a kids' film really sad and really emotional. And I like, you know, I'm sort of a bit of a kid. I mean, I'm a comedian, so of course I am. You know, I'm a twat for money. You know, so or a show off, whichever.
Depends what day it is.
But yeah, I just love that whole idea of like when you leave the room, the toys come to life. I love that, you know, they're always striving for kindness and looking after each other, and the importance of being a good friend, and the importance of caring for each other. And yeah, I just think it's brilliant. I also love the character Squeaky that is in series 2. No, Wheezy. Wheezy,
the penguin.
Yeah, the penguin. He's like, oh, gee whiz, you fixed my squeaker. And so I just,
he bursts into song.
Yeah, and he does. He's got the little microphone here. We're funding a thing. We're funding a thing. But yeah, I think I put another Pixar on there. Did I?
No, that's the only one.
Is that the only one? Oh, well, Up would have been pretty close.
I was going to mention that as well.
Yeah, do like
Up on a different day. Up could have been on there
because that starts off mega.
Yeah, again, very sad.
Like the saddest 5 minutes in any Pixar movie,
especially for a start of the film as well.
Yeah, it's really. But again, like that's the thing, and I loved Soul that I watched a couple of weeks ago.
That's very good.
The new one, which again is quite, there's real darkness in it. It starts with the protagonist dying. But I think that there's always with Pixar films, there's sort of that like hope is so important, friendship so important, believing in yourself. And I think it's obviously a great message for children, but sometimes as an adult, you can do with that as well. Like you can do it like, maybe I can achieve anything. Maybe I can.
If Woody
maybe
says
I can live in a musical. But yeah, I think that I think the second one's the best. I do, and I quite liked the fourth because of Old Forky. And that was very funny when he kept trying to put himself in the bin. I found it really, really amusing. I actually watched that one year at the Edinburgh Festival when I was up there. And like when you're up there doing a show, like I think that year I did some extra shows. So I did something like 29 shows in about 26 days. And so it was like pretty relentless. And like one afternoon, I was like, I just need to go and watch something that's not comedy. And I went to watch Toy Story. And I mean, I saw a lot of shows that Fringe, and Toy Story 4 was the best thing I saw by a mile. No offense to any of my friends. And it was exactly what I needed on that day. But yeah, I think there's something to do with the introduction of Jessie. And, as a woman growing up, whenever there was a female in a kids film that wasn't a princess, that was like Jessie's tough and she's strong and she's just as smart as all the boys and she sort of saves the day. And I love that message. Like, I love the idea of little boys and little girls watching that and knowing that girls can do it as well. So I guess that even though the first time I watched that, it would have definitely been in my 20s, I was still like, Jessie, you're doing it for us.
Yeah, like you said, even as an adult, you need that sometimes, don't you? Like,
I think so.
And at Pixar films now as well, they're just as much for adults as well. There's enough adult humor in it, and there's much stuff to reminisce about in your own childhood. And that I think they work brilliantly as adult films as well.
100%.
I don't have kids, but I'll happily go and watch them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I think for me, number three's got to be my favorite. It's the bit where they think they're all going to get burnt in the furnace. But again, it's the way they all come together and they just kind of accept it, but they're together, so it's fine. And I was just like, again, I must have been 32 when I watched it, and I'm like, my daughter's like, "Are you crying, Daddy?" No, I'm fine. I'm wiping it away. So good.
I think as well, like that's the thing that animated films can do. This is a unbelievable generalization and a really broad brushstroke. So
go for it.
We've had a few, sorry.
But I think that there's something about animated films where you can cross genres constantly. They can sing at one point. There'll be like a romantic storyline, like there's a Will They Won't They with Woody and Bo, and then there's like an action sequence where they're like holding on to the back of the garbage truck. And so they do all these things where, I guess because they're aimed at children as well as adults, it's just constantly something's happening. And I think that when there's those people that are like, I don't like Pixar, I don't like kids films, I always think, I bet you're no fun. But I bet you're a right prick.
You sum them up straight away.
You've got no imagination.
Exactly.
But you're probably right as well.
That'd be a great way of like, if you're like, when you're trying to work out if you should like be friends with someone, just like, quick review of Toy Story 2. You're like, okay, you haven't seen it. We'll go and watch it and then we'll reconvene.
Yeah, then we can chat.
It'd be great for a dating profile. Just do you like these movies? Tick yes or no.
Yeah, I mean that's good.
It's better than swiping left and right.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I think it would work.
Okay, maybe after this we start a dating agency.
Yeah, we can sort it out.
Purely on what people's what films people like. And go, okay, you two.
Well, it's a good collaboration.
And on the first date, you got to sing everything as well, I imagine.
I mean, I wasn't thinking that, but now I am.
Yeah, you're selling it. Yeah, your next one definitely doesn't have any singing, which is The Blind Side.
Great film.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it until I watched it.
True story as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I love a true story.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's. I mean, there's definitely some issues within it about like a white savior complex. I think.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But it is a true story, and I think it is. You know, and from the guy's point of view, the boy that the family take in, I mean, I think that they're still family, you know, in the real world, they're still family. And so there certainly is some of that white savior stuff in there, which is really uncomfortable, and certainly, like, you know, it's not the answer to everything. I did enjoy the fact that it was a true story, and that it was and the idea of that a family can love a child that isn't biologically linked to them. My partner and I have just been approved to adopt.
Oh, so congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a long process, and it's really
I can imagine.
Yeah, but it's great, and so we're just sort of in the process of sort of finding a child soon, or it might take a little while, but who knows. But because I have always wanted to adopt, and because I knew that would be something that my partner and I would do at some point, I think that when I saw The Blind Side, I love seeing a family where maybe not everyone's related, and I think that's a really good story to be in the world where you know the family love him as much as they do their brothers and sisters, and you know and all the stuff about him like rescuing the little boy when they're in the car, and him putting his arm out and him protecting him, and I just love all of that, and I loved the movie. And then at the end, when I realized it was a true story, I was just like, oh, this is this
takes it to another level, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does. And I fucking love Sandra Bullock. I absolutely love Sandra Bullock. First of all, oh my god, I think that as a teenager, she may have been one of the people that I was like, oh, I'm gay. Like, I'm just like, she's just, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, everything checks out. I'll get back on my skateboard and go. This is all making a lot of sense now. But I love her, and like I've watched Miss Congeniality loads of times. I think that's a great film. And I know people don't. I know people might disagree with me, and I don't care. I think she's brilliant, but I think she's a great actress, and she won an Oscar for A Blind Side, and she took the family as her date, the real family.
Oh, really? That's
as her date, which
really nice.
I thought was super cool. But yeah, it's I just think it's a hopeful film about, you know, there's also sort of political stuff going on in it. People say, like, the friends of hers that are like massive Republicans say like quite racist things and quite harmful things, and you know, I like that character standing up for sort of the person that's become her new son when she doesn't even really know him at that point, and sort of gives two fingers to these women that have clearly been her friends for years, and I like that. I guess I like seeing that, and I like seeing, you know, I've obviously got a link to adoption and to families being blended or families being created in a different way, and there's something about that movie that just tugs at my heart.
Yeah, it's a great example of that, isn't it? It's like for me, it's like it's the instant connection between them. Like it could have been any child, essentially. It didn't matter what he looked like, what his skin color was, all of that. It's just, there's this person that needs our help. Let's help him instantly. Yeah,
and we've got loads of money. Why wouldn't we help him? And I love that. Like, because I feel like surely we should all be a bit more like that. Of like, oh, someone needs help. Oh, of course. Well, I can help you.
So I will.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think with it as well, obviously the amount of things in it, the subject matter in it, because obviously not only are they adopting them, it's a different race, and it's in America of all places as well, where that is a massive subject. The fact that it makes it a true story, it takes any reservations away from it, where you think, oh, if this was made up, you'd be like, well, is it this savior complex? Is it this? But because it's a true story, it's like, this actually happened, and that's why you sort of get into it and root for it more. And
the family wanted it to be told, so I think it's based on the book that the mum wrote. Right. So they wanted that story to be shared with the world, and I think that's where I can sort of go, okay, well, there is sort of a white savior complex story around it, but because this is a true story, and because the real family wanted to share their story, then it's up to them, and I like that they shared their story and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it'd be a shame not to, just for that reason.
Yeah,
people will be missing out essentially.
I think so. Yeah, sorry, that's it. No, we said enough.
Well, your next one is again, it deals with race, possibly more than Blindside, which is Get Out.
Yeah,
another completely different genre as well.
Yeah, very different.
For horror / comedy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's a really great film.
Yeah, very good. Very
I think it's one of the most original horrors I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's such a good film, and it's so. I mean, he is such a great actor.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love it.
It's great. It came out of nowhere, I think, as well. Like I knew Jordan Peele was doing a film, and I was expecting a Key and Peele type comedy.
Yeah, totally.
And then it was just like blew my mind completely. Obviously, still got funny elements in it, but it's not what you expect from him at all.
No, not at all. And it's so. I mean, it totally sort of fucks with your mind when you realize what's happening. You're like, what? This is this is ridiculous. But I just think it's a really good film, and I think that every performance in it is brilliant. And it's really shocking, and it's and I think Jordan Peele's brilliant.
One of the best twists in a horror film as well. Since Sixth Sense, where I didn't see that coming, and then this comes, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
I think it's really that bit where they're is it like a barbecue and they're all outside? And he sort of fist bumps the guy. It's like a memory of who he was before. I mean, it's so clever. It's so clever and it's so brilliant. And obviously it deals with race and it deals with bigger conversations. And I was just blown away by it. I think I saw it and then I watched it again like 3 weeks later because I was like, I need to sort of work this all out again.
I was going to say that it's one of those films that because it's got a twist at the end, you then watch it again because then it all makes sense.
From a different perspective,
you've seen it and you know what's going to come. It doesn't.
Like at the beginning when he finds that box of all of her partners.
The photos.
And and the grandma. And it's so good.
Some brilliant acting in it.
Some great acting.
When she's just crying, smiling, you're like, Jesus
Christ. It's so really great performance.
Have you seen Us as well?
No, I haven't, because the poster is really scary.
It's creepier than Get Out.
Creepier. So I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to horror films.
Right. Okay.
So I'm always like, because when the world is normal, I'm obviously traveling around the country doing comedy. And like whenever I stay in hotel rooms in like old-fashioned hotels, I'm always just like fucking terrified that like I'm gonna wash my face and then put my head up and there'll be like an old lady behind me in the mirror. I'm sort of scared of everything. Ghosts, murderers, murdering ghosts. Who's gonna be? Who's under the bed? And I do sort of check under the bed, even in my own flat when my girlfriend's away. I'll check under the bed. I'll check in the cupboards. And so I looked at because of Us is it is made by the same people. I was like, I definitely will like this. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, I might not be able to watch this because I might not level,
isn't it?
It's still funny though, so it's still enough of it to stop you from getting that terrified, if you know what I mean.
I think you'd enjoy it.
Know me.
It's definitely scarier.
And you don't want me calling you in the middle of the night going, Are you sure it's not real? You told me it was funny. I didn't laugh that much. I'm crying now. I've watched Toy Story 2 3 times and it's still
That's God. No one's singing. What's going on?
No. He's also doing the new one as well. He's doing the new Candyman. He's rebooting that as well. So
that's good.
Definitely sunk his hooks into horror.
I just think he's brilliant.
Yeah, he is. Your next one. So far we've had every film is like a blend of genres. You've had Moulin Rouge, it's quite dark musical. Toy Story 2 is emotional and is childish, and then obviously Get Out as well as a horror comedy. Your next one is an out and out comedy of Airplane.
It's so good.
One of the all-time classic comedies.
Yeah, that is about as most comedies you can get.
It's such a great film. It's such a great film. Well, I guess I chose the wrong day to give up crack cocaine.
There's so many one-liners.
There's so many one-liners.
Yeah.
There's so many one-liners. So I'm a really good friend of mine is fellow comic Tom Allen, and we'll very often sort of say the lines to each other. It's just so funny. The nun that's sort of singing and she accidentally pulls the girl's IV drip out and the girl's like going wild. It's so ridiculous. It's so funny. It's got that Naked Gun ridiculousness.
Leslie Nielsen,
and it's got the, I remember watching it maybe as a teenager and finding it funny, and then watching it again as an adult, and there's so much rude stuff in it.
It gets better as you get older, I think.
Definitely. And I've watched it with sort of younger cousins who just think it's really silly.
Yeah.
But I just think it's such a great film. It's so stupid. It's so funny. It's just...
It's a film you can just put on at any time, and you don't need to concentrate on either as well. There's no twist coming. You just
it's just really stupid, and and it's an out and out comedy.
Yeah.
And I think often as a stand-up, like, I don't actually like that much comedy. Like, I probably shouldn't say that, but like with like sitcoms and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, like I watched some of them. I don't watch all of them because when I'm watching stuff, I want to watch something that's like totally different to what I do.
Yeah. Is it like a busman's holiday for you?
In a way, yeah. But the thing is, like, Airplane is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just laugh out loud. It's just stupid.
Yeah. I think, like we were saying before, the Don't Call Me Shirley.
Yes.
It's just everybody knows that line. Yeah. Everybody, even if you haven't seen the film, you know that line.
You know that line, yeah.
You just don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
It's
so good.
I really enjoyed it. That was one of the ones that there's been a lot that we've seen before. We've gone back and rewatched because they've been on people's lists.
Yeah.
This was the one for me that I really did forget how funny it was.
Yeah.
I literally laughed from start to finish.
It's so funny.
Leslie Nielsen and the two guys in the tower as well.
Yeah. So good. And the like the automatic pilot, that blow up. It's so.
But she's got to inflate it and she's blown into the tube.
Yeah, it's just it's so stupid and it's really crass. Which isn't really my style of humor, but there's something about it. As I was saying at the beginning about like it being a pivotal moment, I guess that was probably one of the first films that I saw where I sort of like understood about having a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like really laughing to something. And so I suppose, it's sort of locked in my brain from when I was, I guess, like 15, of being like, I remember thinking this was like not being able to believe that people could be this funny. It's sort of how I felt when I went to see Lee Evans when I was about 15, 16. And I remember just being astounded that one person could make that many people laugh.
Yeah.
And it like had it ignited something in me. It wasn't until years and years later that I thought I could have a go at comedy, or even thought that I might be funny in any sense. But there was something that happened inside me, and I think it's the same with Airplane, where I was just like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's got this strange thing that most films can't do, that it's crass, but it's not offensive in any way.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I mean, I don't know how well the Do You Talk Jive has...
we did discuss whether you could do it again now.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably not the person to... I'm definitely not the person to say whether that's offensive. Yeah. And if someone told me it was, then I would say, okay, yeah, absolutely. But other than that, I don't think there's anything in it that would be... Someone's going to tweet me now and be like, everything is
there will be something horrendous we've missed.
There's something awful that we've missed. But I think that it's just silliness, isn't it? And grown-ups being silly and being completely serious doing it is just it's Naked Gun humor, isn't it? That's why I mentioned it. Do you practice safe sex? Being in a condom, like, it's that kind of silliness, which again I can remember watching and thinking was like, oh my god, this is so funny. And because I'm watching it with my parents. Oh my god.
I love that stuff. Like Police Academy as well was another one.
Yes, totally.
Love that. Your next one is very different again, is Goodfellas.
Oh, what a movie.
Yeah, another classic.
It's one of the most popular ones we've had on people's lists as well.
Is it?
That and Back to the Future have been the two most popular ones.
Do you know what? I think I've seen Back to the Future once and I don't really remember anything about it. But I know. No, it's not that I'm not a fan. I just think like it missed me.
Right.
So all the Goonies I've never seen.
Oh, really?
Ghostbusters I've seen once, and it didn't have the effect on me that I know loads of people absolutely love it when they go to America. They get New York, they've got to go and see the fire station. Yeah. But Goodfellas is definitely where I fall into like a cliche of everyone being like, it's an amazing film. But I mentioned to you, I don't know if we were recording them, but I mentioned to you about how much I loved it at the top because I watched it when I was at drama school. And it was, we were always talking about films that had like a real sense of craft to them and actors, and obviously and that shot that I mentioned before about when they go through the At that time it was the longer. Yeah, it was. It's, you know, from him getting out of the car and walking in and then going down the stairs and I think it was the longest shot that anyone had ever done.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like a classic gangster film, but yeah, I just think it's brilliant. I think he's great.
Yeah. I think it's the classic gangster film.
It is, yeah.
I think it is, yeah. Like, I'm not. Do you know what? I've only seen a couple of the Goodfellas. Sorry, I've only seen a couple of the Godfather films. But for me, they don't even come close.
Do you know what? I 100% agree with you. I honestly think Goodfellas is better than The Godfather, and I am sick of pretending it's not.
I think it's just so good. And I love the women in it. I love that scene where they're all in one of their houses and they're all talking about their husbands.
Yeah.
And it's that sort of that great sort of New Yorky accent of, you know, and they're, and then they know that their husbands are kind of these bad guys. But they're all sort of, but it's how they've got to live. It's how they've, you know, it's how they've got to survive. And obviously, I mean, it's got like one of the greatest scenes in movie history, which is are you laughing at me? What am I funny?
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
What am I funny? It's funny how? Funny how? And it's so, like, I mean, everyone knows that bit.
Yeah.
And Joe Pesci is sort of the quintessential gangster, isn't he? Like,
you've got to love him. Even though he's vile, but you have to love him.
Yeah, the Italian American sort of like specific of that time. I just thought it was, I just loved it.
And then you throw in Robert De Niro on top of that as well, and you've just got a perfect movie.
Totally. I mean, it's so good. And I mean, it's terrible. I don't know her name, but the woman that plays his wife.
Lorraine Bracco.
That's it. Yeah, she's so good when she storms into his house and he's got like his sort of his bit on the side, for want of a better word, his girlfriend there. And she sort of breaks down and then she gets the gun in his face and you're like, oh my God, is she going to shoot him? Like, it's just, I just think it's such, I think it's such a good film. I mean, another film that definitely doesn't pass the Bechdel test. Oh my God, I wonder how many of mine do pass the Bechdel. I'm such a bad feminist. Oh God.
It'd be interesting to see, actually. That's a good question.
Goodfellas definitely doesn't pass it, but I think it's worth having Goodfellas on your list anyway. It's one of those, it has to be on there.
It's a great film. And again, like, you know, it's you know, it's that sort of, I think there's really great individual performances in it, which I love that in movies where there's, you know, you don't see the acting, but all those little characters have like a moment to shine. Like there's that great scene at the wedding when everyone's coming up and giving them money, and you get and I love the VO at the top where it's like, this person does this person does that, and just sort of creates this world to sort of understand. I just think it's brilliant.
I like how not only does Ray Liotta evolve as a character throughout it, as then he goes all the way up and then he declines. She does as well throughout the time. Like at the start of the movie, she's like starts covering up his cross because she doesn't want the family to see. He hides a gun and she's like nervous. And then the next minute she got a gun in his face, and then she's just as bad as him.
She's doing coke.
I think it's just brilliant how they both just rise and decline in it together.
It's a great movie.
It is very good.
Yeah, covers it all, doesn't it? That scene where he gives her the gun, where he
beats up neighbor,
and she admits then straight away, she's like, I knew what I was in for, but it excited me. And it's one of the only movies where they admit that.
I guess I'm wrong. I shouldn't have done
exactly.
it. I shouldn't say it, but it excited me.
Whereas most of the time, like they pretend, don't they? Like Sopranos and stuff. The wives always pretend they don't really know what's going on. Oh, my husband's in waste management. Yeah, of course he is.
Getting rid of bodies. Come on, mate.
Exactly.
That's the waste, and you're managing what part of the river you put it in.
Your next one is your second music on the list, Singing in the Rain.
Great film, love it. One of my favorite songs from any show is Make 'Em Laugh. Such a great song. I mean, you know, I'm a bit of a cliche, but you know, obviously I'm a comedian and I love that, and I remember loving that as a kid, the idea of, you know, making people laugh. And how,
it's one of my favorite scenes, the whole actions that he's doing and stuff.
I mean, it's amazing. Like I grew up dancing, and so I love shows that have proper dancing in it, and they can all really dance. Although the girl who is the lead in it, oh God, I'm so bad with names. I'm going to find
Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds. There we go. Oh no, I'm going to do that bit again so you can edit it out. So I sound but Debbie Reynolds wasn't a tapper. she couldn't tap before that, and they taught her to tap, and it's just such a great film. It's really funny, you know, all of the stuff about, you know, it's sort of a moment in history where they sort of had talkies, where movies could talk, and it's sort of this, there's something about it that's so nostalgic, and it's so funny, and it's so brilliant, and the characters are just, I just love it, and I love the characters, and I feel like there's something about it that feels really sort of homey to me, and really like, it makes me feel like a kid again. It wraps its arms around me. My partner and I watched it on Christmas Day this year, because obviously we traveled and we didn't go home like we normally would, and we watched it on Christmas Day, and it's such a good film, and it's really feel good, and I love that at the end, you know that it's her singing, and like, you know, when they pull the curtains back and you see that it's her, and I just love it, and I love the dancing, and I love how beautiful and elegant it is, and it's sort of that golden age of Hollywood, where it's there's a real beauty to it that I love.
Yeah, definitely. It's like iconic, isn't it? That's, if you think of that time, you could think of the images from that film. I think like the MGM studio, even like the signage.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and the fact that it's sort of a movie about making a movie, I think there's something in that sort of me growing up and being and wanting to be sort of an actor, or wanting to do something like that. You know, I used to love anything that was about the industry, or about, you know, about how it worked. And so I guess, like, I don't think what they were talking about was strictly true, but there was certainly something about it that I loved, because I thought it was like seeing like the backstage almost, how they make films. And then the dancing's like the Good Morning, is it called Good Morning? No, that song's called, it's not just called Morning.
Good Morning. It's Good Morning.
It's Good Morning. That's the routines of that, when they're sort of jumping over the sofa and they're doing all the stuff with the raincoats, and it's just so beautifully choreographed and so brilliant. And I saw it in the West End when it was in town, and they had we were in like the splash zone, and I don't know how they did the rain. It was like, you know, it was magic. That's how they make it work in theatre. And we just got splashed so much, and it was so brilliant and clever. And I suppose it made me love the film even more. Like, I went back to the film afterwards. But I just think it's beautiful. And I love, you know, that sort of golden age musicals, singing and dancing. You know, there's something about it that feels really, I don't know, it makes me feel like a kid, which I really like.
I'd never seen it before. Neither of us had watched
it. Have you not?
No, I have now. I watched it this week. It was on your list. And I didn't realize how. I honestly, I was really pleasantly surprised. I didn't realize how funny it was going to be. I had no idea it was like a rom-com. I just expected a musical, lots of dancing, and I was genuinely like blown away by how funny it was.
And the girl really, with the terrible voice, like, I don't know how.
So good.
Like, it's just so funny.
When she keeps looking away, moving away from the microphone. So good. But I was pleasantly surprised.
It would have been that, or The Producers, which is another musical that's really funny.
Mel Brooks produces.
Yes, and that's a really funny musical. But there's something about Singing in the Rain that I think it's the song Make 'Em Laugh. I just love it.
It's a good one.
It's just that sort of physical comedy mixed in with dancing. I just think it's so clever.
Like, the dancing is on another level as well.
He just runs up the wall. It's just so clever. And I love it. I
was saying to Rob before, I saw a thing about the Good Morning song. Apparently, Gene Kelly made them do 15 hours straight worth of filming to try and get it perfect. Because Debbie Reynolds had never, like you say, she's never danced before, and she was struggling with it, so he did it for 15 hours, and then he ended up using the first take.
You would be human.
You'd be human, though, legitimately as well.
But I bet they had so much fun.
Definitely. It looks like it on screen.
I wonder how many takes it took to do the running up the wall and the ducking with the comedy songs. But there's something about it that I just love.
I think the fact that you'll never like they probably won't ever make anything like that again on screen now.
Like
gives it another feel, you know.
I guess La La Land.
I was about to say that.
Tried to do that in a way, but for me, it's just there's something about Gene Kelly as well. Such an amazing dancer. It
leads us quite nicely into your next one as well, Grease.
Oh.
That was a film I had never ever seen before.
Again, neither of us had seen it.
But obviously, when the list came out, we went to watch it, and my partner was so happy that I finally had to watch it. So we sat down and watched it together, and it was It was
okay. What did you think?
So I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite film I've ever seen.
Okay,
but the fact that obviously it's such a massive film that although I've never seen it in 30 years, every time a song came on, I knew the song already.
Of course, yeah.
So that was just a weird way of doing it. But it's just everything is going on in that film. It's an attack on the senses. It's just music, just bright colors.
And I mean, the message.
I wasn't bored. I know that.
The message is so awful.
Yeah.
The message is, if he doesn't like you, get slutty. Like that's the message of Grace.
Basically,
and it's also, and I mean, the casting is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like Stockard Channing, who I love, who I think is a fantastic actress, and like I'm a massive fan of The West Wing, so like love her. You know, her more recent stuff as well, but fucking hell, she's like mid-30s.
Yeah.
When she's like on the the fairground wheel, and she's like, I'm not pregnant. It's like, of course you're not, you're nearly menopausal, come on. There's I mean, again, like I probably watched that film once a month for about 5 years. I know every scene. That's probably out of all the films that are on the list, that's the film I know the best.
Really?
Okay.
I would know every word to it. I know all the names of the characters. I just loved it. I loved it. I was desperate to be a pink lady. I thought it was so cool. Like, you know, this year we're seniors and we're gonna rule the school. Like, I just loved it. I love the music of it. I like the dancing, of course, all the fun stuff when they're at the they're at the high school dance and they're doing hand jive and all that stuff. It's so clever. I mean, a young John Travolta, pre-Scientology, so we can all still enjoy him. You know, Olivia Newton-John, beautiful. I love it. But you know, one funny thing that I will tell you about that film is that so the reason I love the film Grease and the reason I knew about the film Grease is that my granddad, when I was about 6 or 7, he videoed that film for me off the TV. It was on an afternoon. He videoed it for me off the TV. And it started at the credits. So like it started with they're all sort of sketched and then it opens up in Rydell High. Now, because it was recorded by my granddad, by my gramps, I just always assumed that was how the movie started. Years, and I mean like probably 2 decades. I went to see it at the Pictures when they did when they did like a revival of it, and they were like, going to put Grease on the big screen, and like I love going to the Pictures, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go and see it. And I went to see it, and I was like, what the fuck is this beach scene? Right at the like, why have they added in a scene to a perfect film that has a very dodgy storyline? Like, what is this? And the people I was with were like, no, that is how the film starts. It's like, it absolutely is not. It's not. There's not this weird fucking beach scene. So I never knew how one of my favorite films started because I had always just I always just kept the VCR. And I think I probably still have the VCR. And I loved the movie so much that as a teenager, I like drew, like the VCRs would come in those really thick boxes. And I like coloured in like Grease in bubble writing and like made my own little like movie sleeve. But yeah, I absolutely loved it.
I would rather not miss the start and watch that than that last couple of seconds at the ending where I just get very confused by what's going on.
What, they fly into the air?
Car takes off.
Just out of nowhere. There's no mention of flying cars in the entire film.
Chitty chitty bang bang all of a sudden.
Look, you don't have like it's their heart soaring. It's them being spirit there. Like I think with Grease, let's not try and find any meaning. I think let's just enjoy some people in their mid-30s playing teenagers with some absolutely banging numbers.
Yeah, the last song as well. As it was going on and it's like shop up or do, but I thought all I wanted to see was the script where someone's typing that out. That's chaos of words.
Lazy song.
Yeah. I thought he's on coke or something, just going
absolutely. I mean, someone was taking some Mandy. Just thumping a key out and going, wow.
And then the car flies off. And
then the car flies off. Okay. And the movie's finished.
With what you said about your love of musicals, I can see why Grease would be your favorite, because it is like, it's peak cheesiness, isn't it? It's like it's the most musical of all musicals almost.
And there's just something about it. And like, I think that with I'm sure you get people on who's very into like The Craft, or like, I bet you've had loads of people that talk about stuff like the Lord of the Rings and all that wank.
No, you'd be surprised people just go with what they like.
Yeah, but I think that it's all about, like, movies for me is about like sort of how much it meant to me in the moment, and that's why I have to put Grease on the list, just because I just loved it as a teenager. Like, it could have been that, or like maybe Oliver. If I didn't put Grease on, I probably had to put Oliver on, because I watched it so much as a kid and I just loved it. But yeah, there's something about Grease that I just thought was brilliant, and I watched it so many times. And I just was so desperate to be Danny Zuko. And if I'm honest, I very much still am. That's the truth. Fine, you want the truth? That's the truth.
It's the first time it's come up on one of our lists, but I don't think it'll be the last. I think, like say, it is like, because it's the peak musical, I think it will come up again, won't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I've watched it now as well.
Yeah, we don't have to watch it again now.
Finally watched it.
The next one is another one that I hadn't seen until I watched it last night. Actually, is Pride.
It's such a good film.
Again, very pleasantly surprised.
So
really funny.
It's such a good film.
Yeah.
It's
really good cast again as well.
It's an amazing cast,
and it's a story, comedies as well.
Yeah, and it's a story you would never know.
No, I'd never heard it.
You know, like the fact that this mining village needed some funds. The sort of the sort of Gay Liberation Front were like, let's help them. And this idea of like two marginalized communities coming together to help each other. Oh, I just think it's such a lovely story. I think it's so brilliant. I love, people's hearts and minds being changed by meeting real people. I mean, certainly during that time, you've got to remember, like, this is just before the AIDS crisis. Certainly there was more, stigma around being gay probably after that, or certainly more hostility towards gay people, certainly gay men during the AIDS crisis and after. But, people's hearts and minds being changed by meeting someone, and them and their pre-ideas of what that person could be being altered by just being in the same room as someone. And I think that's such an important message. I mean, you can look at the world today and say that, if you look at what's happening to sort of like, even within the LGBT community, if you look what's happening to the trans community, I just think so many people that have so many opinions around what's happening to someone has never met a trans person, has never never met someone that identifies as non-binary. And I think it's so important that, it's absolutely fine if you're someone that hasn't met someone like that, but don't make an assumption about what their life is or who they are or what it should look like. And I think that's the thing that Pride does really beautifully, is this, this old mining village, with this, with the sort of the grown-ups in the generation sort of thinking, well, we're going to have to accept help. Even though we feel sort of uncomfortable about it, we're going to have to accept help because we're on our knees. And, in another community coming together and going, we know what it's like for the police not to give a shit. We know what it's like to have to constantly, shout for our rights, and we're going to help you. And I think that's a really important story. And I think, and I didn't know it before I saw the film. And I just thought it was beautiful. And I love the fact that that they still march every year at Pride, and that they led the first ever Pride march, the miners. And the miners support the gays. And I just think it's really beautiful. And I think it's I just think it's really hopeful.
It's a really uplifting story. Like Blindside again, it's like such an uplifting story, isn't it? It kind of needs to be told. You need to hear it.
Did you find it really moving?
Yeah. Like I didn't know anything about it before, and I did a quick little bit of research. Like I kind of Googled it, and got a bit of an idea of it. But I was blown away by it. I firstly I expected like most of the Welsh village to kind of reject them, but it wasn't. It was most of them accepted them. It was just a very small faction that were like, no, this isn't right, kind of thing. But I was very moved, especially at the end, like when they were like, say when they went to the front of the march.
And you found out who the real people were.
And
those people really did exist, and that some of them are still alive, some of them really sadly sort of died during the 90s of sort of health problems related to AIDS and HIV. And Imelda Staunton's fucking brilliant in it. Like she's just so good. There's a brilliant line that she says when she's driving the bus about
off to a Les Fest or something like that.
Oh yeah, we're going to a Les Fest. There's just something about she's just brilliant.
It was so funny, that film. I genuinely wasn't expecting it to be that funny, but it got to a bit where I was obviously loving it, enjoying it, and I was downstairs watching it, and it got to when he first got to Wales, and he says 1 in 5 people are gay, and he says, so at least a fifth of you are happy to see us. And I lost my head. My partner came down, she was like, you're right. I was like, this is amazing.
It's such a great film. It's such a great film, and it's so I've seen it, I've watched it so many times, and every time I come away from it loving it a little bit more.
The bit where he starts dancing for me is when because it's like Welsh guys don't dance. Let's see about that, and he's up there and he's giving it, and it's being just so good. And
that guy that's like, I want him to teach me how to dance.
Exactly.
It's so sweet.
And you see him like a little bit later, you see him in another scene, don't you? And he's in the front room dancing. You're like, come on.
I love it. I love that. That idea of people coming together and prejudices being challenged, and I think it's a real shame when people have prejudices, but I think that most people, if they open their hearts and their minds a bit, they would be able to, and got to know someone that was different from them. They'd probably realise, that they probably have quite a lot in common with them. And the preconceived ideas of what they would be like is so different. And I think that film just really highlights that.
Yeah, we've all got some kind of common ground somewhere.
Totally.
Even if it is police brutality or something horrific like that.
Exactly.
Your next one is your final one and your definite favourite. You said E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial.
Yes.
Absolute classic. It's got to be said.
Is this a pivotal moment? Is this a childhood pivotal moment? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean it's. I've just got out a picture, an ET that is about a foot tall. About a foot. Love it. I think he's a great guy. I just love it. I just think it's such a good film.
Yeah, he's a good little friend.
He's a great little. I'd love to have a little friend like him.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm lonely? I think it's really sweet. I think it's really sad.
Yeah.
There's moments where it's really funny, where he gets drunk. I just love it.
It's a classic Spielberg sort of. It's got a bit of everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just. I mean, it's just about friendship.
Yeah.
And about loving someone, and that someone just happens to be a small alien.
Yeah, unconventional friendship as well. In spite of things, definitely.
I mean, that's the theme that keeps coming up, which I didn't realize.
yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, I know it's a real sort of cliched one, where I think like probably lots of people are like, oh yeah, like it might end up on quite a lot of people's lists as one of their favorite films. But yeah, there's just something about it that I just think is perfect. I just think it's so sweet and lovely, and I love that bit where he's dressed as an old lady. I don't know, regardless of how hard I work in comedy, I don't think I'll ever do anything as funny as that. As him being dressed as an old lady and then going, and his neck is massive. I just think that's brilliant. I just absolutely love it. It's just it's a perfect film, and I love that you don't see any of the adults other than the mum.
Yeah.
Like the top half, you just see all the bottom half, don't you? Because they're sort of seen as the threat.
Yeah.
And the bit at the end where he's got to get him back to the spaceship, and all the kids help. It's just, I mean, it's just the perfect film. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's so good, and it's so sad when you think he's going to die. Oh my god.
You're reliving it.
Yeah, it's too much. He's even got the little finger.
Again as well. It's got a happy ending / sad ending, because happy's escape, but sad he's never going to see him again.
Yeah,
so it's another film with a double ending.
Yeah. Ouch. Ouch. But yeah, I just love it, and I'd like to have a little alien friend. Kind of weird how his skin's so saggy.
He's
a weird looking chap. Yeah,
he's a weird looking guy, but don't hold that against him,
isn't it? Exactly. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My brother was very, very scared of ET, but
really?
I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved him. Thought he was a great guy. Yeah, I just think I don't know. I can't really put my finger on why I love it so much, but I just really love it.
I'm glad I watched it as a kid. I'm glad I was around that age, because I think it's better as a child, but then it lives with you forever and you can appreciate it still as an adult. Whereas if it's like with Pixar films now, I can watch, like Soul, I watched it at 37 and I still appriciate it. Whereas I think if I watched ET first time at my age, it wouldn't be the same.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I will always watch it sort of through a 10-year-old's eyes, I guess, exactly, in a way. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was the sweetest story about an unconventional friendship and about being able to be friends with someone that's different.
Yeah.
Classic story. And everyone helps them as well. It's like his brother. They don't always get on, but they come together for this reason,
And tiny Drew Barrymore being adorable.
Yeah.
Tiny. So small, Drew Barrymore. But it's just a great film. And he's a great guy. I've said it.
There's so many iconic scenes as well, isn't there? If you see someone in a red hoodie now, especially a kid, I'm like, it's Elliot there. Especially he's on a bike with a basket on it.
Oh shit, there's another one. I hope the feds don't catch up with them. That's what we're all thinking, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
There's something about it, and obviously the shot of him going over the moon. I mean, it's just so good.
It is, You've like we said, you've got a very diverse list, and then I think you finished with like an absolute classic. Everyone's got to agree that ET is up there. It's like Forrest Gump. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, there are a couple of other films that almost made it in. Titanic, love the film Titanic. You could have just painted both shoes blue. Could have just been the three. It would have been a very easy paint.
It would have been an easy one, Put an iceberg on one side.
Yeah, just one white shoe, one blue shoe. Okay, I don't feel like you've put the effort into this one. But I just love it. Let me just pop ET back. There we go, mate.
Right, so done the films now. So what we'll do now is we do 10 questions and then we'll do the shoes after that. Yeah.
Okay. I've done so well. I've had these shoes in my house for a week, and I said to you I wouldn't open them, and
I've done really well.
I've done so well.
Better than most.
Yeah.
Keep us straight in there.
Right. So, go on.
First question. So this is with Moulin Rouge. What illness does Satine have?
Oh, tuberculosis.
Yep. Where in Toy Story 2, where is Andy taking Woody at the start of the film?
Oh, to like summer camp? No.
Close.
It's a camp. What kind of camp?
Cowboy camp.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well done. Yeah, well done. Blindside. Most of Michael's test scores are low, but he tests high in what area?
Protective
instincts. 3 for 3. So in Get Out, what job does Chris's friend Rod do?
Oh, is he like a security guard?
Yeah,
TSA. It's like
TSA. I'll give you that one.
Counts.
Airplane. What is the name of the war veteran lead character played by Robert Hayes?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know, I haven't watched that one for a while. What is it?
Ted Stryker.
Of course, Ted Stryker.
It's a great hero name.
I didn't get that one this morning when Rob practiced it on me, and I was really annoyed I didn't get
it. So Goodfellas. Why can't Jimmy and Henry ever be made?
Because they're not. Are they not like 100% Italian?
Perfect, 100% Italian. Irish. In Singing in the Rain, what is Don Lockwood's motto?
Oh, I don't know. Go on.
Dignity, always dignity.
Yeah. Like that boat.
What?
Greece. Dignity, yeah.
In Greece, what was the nurse missing on her first day? She couldn't find something on her first day of school.
Oh, I don't know.
Castor oil.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Strange. Okay.
Weird one, man.
So Pride, when the LGSM go to Wales for the first time, what is it they're told Welshmen don't do?
Dance.
And E.T., what animal was Elliot's science class supposed to dissect before he released them all?
Frog.
That's nice. That is 7 out of 10. That's not a bad score at all.
It's not too bad.
That's not bad.
I'm a bit
I'd be happy with 7 out of 10.
I think I puts your joint second.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
So, yeah.
I think so, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
With who?
With Andy
Goldstein.
Keith Lemon's top. He got 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Right.
You can tell he watches movies all the time, though.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. See, I haven't watched loads of those in ages.
Yeah, makes a difference. Here we go.
Imagine if these actually didn't arrive and this was just something that I'd got from Amazon without remembering. Like, oh, fuck. No, they haven't arrived. Sorry.
The ultimate anticlimax.
Oh, my God. This is like Christmas, but there's quite a lot of pressure because you're watching me.
Well, we're just as excited as you.
Yeah. Just remember, you got to pick one of your favourite shoes as well. One of them's
okay. This is
we're level pegging at the moment as well, so.
Yeah.
I get to keep them, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Both of them. Yeah.
So
you get to look at them, then you got to send them back. I'm afraid.
Yeah, that'd be fair enough. Oh, my face is on the box.
Oh yeah, I thought you'd appreciate the box.
That's my face. Oh my God. I'm
glad you recognised it as you, because that would have been really awkward if you were like, who's this in the box?
These are really cool. Okay. There's the ET one. Oh, right here. Oh my God, that's so good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty perfect. Did you choose not to do ET's face? Because, my God, it's a weird face to paint.
Kind of, yeah. It's got to be bang on, hasn't it, with ET?
He's just drawing a testicle with eyes.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Kind of. And then there's the Get Out one. Oh, that's very cool how you've done Get Out across the front bit of the trainer. Look at that. I mean, that is kind of perfect. Oh,
that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, it's a good review.
That's, oh no.
I don't want to give away which one I did, Susie, but there's an extra little bit on the front of the ET one, but you can only see it in the light.
Oh my God, it's ET. He's there. The testicle's there. Are they hugging?
Yeah, they're having a hug, yeah.
Oh.
I just thought I'd mention it in case it tips over. But obviously, I'm not saying which shoe I did, but.
Oh no. If you could just both do the other shoe so I can have a matching pair, then
we can sort that. Everyone's been like this. No one's made a quick decision.
I'm so nervous right now.
Think about it. This is the bit we look forward to and dread at the same time.
So tense.
Oh, and it's Friday, isn't it? This could ruin my weekend.
Oh God, don't say that.
But it could make mine as well, so.
They're both very good. Okay, they're both very good. You're both very talented boys.
Thank you.
Is that what you were hoping I'd say?
Very much, yeah.
That review's going on the website.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's ET. And I'll tell you why. It's because of the I'll be right here.
Oh, really?
I love that.
I'll take that.
And because I thought they were black and now I'm looking at them and they're actually like...
Oh, it's like a space background, yeah.
Spacey. Yeah.
It's the little details, Susie, you know.
Well, there was no space in Get Out, so I couldn't do it.
Or maybe you just didn't see it. Maybe that's more about you.
Exactly.
Oh my God, these are so cool.
It was tough to pick which films to do, to be honest. I thought about Pride. I wanted to do, you know, the bus has got the orange with the thing on the side.
Yeah, that would have been really good.
Yeah, good.
How long does it take you to make a shoe?
It depends.
Yeah, with that it took.
Yeah, they took a little bit longer. Yeah. We put a lot of effort into those ones.
I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I might have to get you to commission. I might have to commission a pair when I do the next like big TV gig that I do with something fucking funky on.
Yeah, we'd definitely be up for that.
Yeah, with a microphone on it or something.
We can always sort out the other shoe as well if you want to. You can wear them as 2 pairs.
I mean, I will happily wear them, but I don't want to create more work for you.
But we love doing it.
Nick's only saying this stuff because you picked his.
Yeah. You can have anything you want to. Literally.
Okay. Does that mean for the Get Out shoe, I've got to hop if I want to wear it? But that's what you should do. You get the other ones, whatever one.
You just write Get Out in biro on a shoe and send it on.
I just think they're so brilliant.
Thank you.
They're so good.
We're glad they were worth the wait.
Oh yeah, I love them so much. They're too fucking cool. I wondered whether you'd go for like a Pixar vibe. I wondered whether like,
it's like an easy option sometimes.
Have you done that sort of thing quite a lot?
Exactly. So we kind of wanted to mix it up a bit and do something a bit more challenging.
Have you done an ET shoe before?
No, I've never done ET. We've never done Get Out, whereas we've done Toy Story and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
It's just nice to do something different.
Yeah, definitely.
And like Rob, as soon as you sent the list, within about 30 seconds, Rob messaged me. Before I even saw your message, Rob messaged me saying Shotgun doing Get Out. He was like straight in. It's one of our.
It's not paid off though, is it? So
yeah, it was all for nothing.
Bet you fucking regret that.
Have a bit more thought in it next time, Rob.
All right, then, no.
Embarrassing. I was so chuffed when you messaged me because I've been following you guys for ages. I think I saw. Did you do them for off menu for gambling?
We did, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And James, and oh my god, I saw them and I was like, that is the coolest fucking thing I have ever seen.
Thanks.
If only I did a podcast about food rather than bloody trainers. Then I might get some bloody trainers.
We've been wanting to do something with you for a while.
Yeah. Me and my bloody soundbox, my rainbow trainers. I think the shoes you make are so fucking cool. I was so delighted that you asked me to be involved. So thank you.
Thank you for coming on. It's been amazing. I've got a headache. I've been laughing that much now.
I can't wait to wear them on stage. People will be like, "Where'd you get your shoes from?" I'll be like, "Yeah, get some. They're fucking cool."
Yeah, we'll send you loads of cards in the next pair.
yeah, great. No worries. No worries. I'm happy to share it from the rooftop. I think they're brilliant.
Thank you very much for coming on again.
Yeah, thanks so much.
My absolute pleasure.